It's a typical day in the city, where the sounds of honking horns and footsteps create a familiar hum in the background. Michael, a black man in his late 30s, is on his way home from his second job, exhausted but determined to make ends meet for his family. His worn-out shoes slap against the pavement, a reminder of his never-ending grind. Meanwhile, Officer James, a white cop in his mid-40s, sits in his police car down the street. Known for being tough, he's respected by his peers, but carries a reputation for being skeptical and even harsh towards certain communities, including people like Michael. James believes he's seen it all, and his judgments have become reflexes over the years. But as fate would have it, this day would change both their lives forever. It all started when James' patrol car was involved in a horrific accident. In an attempt to avoid a reckless driver, he swerved sharply, hitting a tree at full speed. His car flipped, the sirens cut out, and James was left unconscious, trapped inside the wreckage as smoke began to billow out from under the hood. Michael, still a block away, hears the screeching tires and the deafening crash. He rushes toward the sound, despite his own exhaustion and the danger he knows awaits. As he approaches, he sees the patrol car crumpled like a can, and through the cracked windshield, a faint image of the officer inside, Officer James. Now Michael stands at a crossroad. He knows how men like Officer James view men like him. He's felt the weight of those judging eyes too many times. Would it be worth risking his life to save this man? Should he even care? But Michael's heart is bigger than the bitterness he's felt. Without a second thought, he sprints toward the wreckage. He yanks open the driver's door, struggling against the twisted metal. With sheer determination, Michael pulls James out, dragging him to safety, just as flames begin licking the edges of the car. Michael watches the flames engulf the vehicle, feeling the heat on his skin. His breathing is heavy, his heart pounding. He did it. He saved a man's life. But will anyone believe him? Will anyone care? Paramedics and firefighters arrive at the scene, pushing Michael aside, unaware of his role in the rescue. As they rush James to the hospital, Michael quietly disappears into the crowd, not waiting for any acknowledgement or praise. His only thought is returning home, to his family, to the life that was so different just moments ago. Days pass, and Officer James wakes up in a hospital bed, disoriented and sore. His colleagues fill him in on the accident, but they don't have all the details. "You're lucky to be alive," they say. But luck wasn't what saved him. As James lies there, recovering, he learns the truth. Security camera footage from a nearby building showed everything. How Michael, the very man he might have dismissed on any other day, risked his life to save his. James is floored. He realizes he's been saved by the very kind of person he's judged unfairly his entire career. His mind races as he reflects on his past interactions, the biases he's carried. For the first time, he begins to question himself, his role as an officer, and the assumptions he's made about others. Once James is well enough to leave the hospital, he knows he has to find Michael, to thank him, to make things right. One evening, as Michael sits on his porch with his wife and children, a police car pulls up. His heart skips a beat. Had someone reported him? Had he done something wrong without even realizing it? But as Officer James steps out of the car, there's no aggression in his posture. Instead, his eyes are filled with something new: gratitude, respect, and even regret. He approaches Michael slowly, taking off his cap. "I'm here to thank you," James says, his voice low but steady. "You saved my life, and I haven't been living mine right." Michael's family watches, unsure of what to expect, but Michael rises from his chair. For a moment, the two men stand in silence, a tension between them from years of mistrust. But it's James who breaks the stillness, extending his hand. "You didn't have to save me, but you did, and I'll never forget it." Michael looks at the outstretched hand and hesitates, the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. He can feel his family's eyes on him, their unspoken worries about how this might unfold. But in this moment, something shifts. With a deep breath, Michael grasps James' hand, a sign of forgiveness, understanding, and perhaps a new beginning. That handshake wasn't just a gesture. It was the breaking of a cycle, the start of something better. Both men knew they still lived in a divided world, but in that moment, they'd taken a step toward bridging the gap. Over time, the story of Michael's heroism spreads throughout the community. It becomes a story told at family dinners in schools, and even within the police force. Officer James, once a man of hardened views, begins to work within his department to challenge the very stereotypes he once upheld. He speaks openly about his experience, using his platform to advocate for change, fairness, and understanding. And as for Michael, his quiet act of bravery not only saved a life, but became a symbol of hope for an entire community. He taught everyone that sometimes the most unexpected heroes come from the most overlooked places. In a world where division often rules the day, the actions of one man, a man with every reason to walk away, brought about a ripple of change. Michael's courage, his willingness to rise above prejudice, became a beacon of light in dark times. Thank you for watching this powerful story. It's a reminder that our actions, no matter how small, can have a profound impact on the world around us. If this story moved you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can make a difference.